The Apostle Paul employs a plethora of participles. Romans 12, 9 to 19. Firstly, what is a participle? The easiest way for me to explain this is like this. Imagine there's a man and his name is Mr. Verb. Mr. Verb is always busy doing things. He meets a young lady, Miss Adjective. She's always describing things, objects, and people. Well, they fall in love and get married, and they have a daughter who they name Patricia Sybil. All her close friends and relatives called her Patty Sybil. Patty Sybil inherited characteristics from her father, Mr. Verb, and from her mother, Miss Adjective. Patty Sybil was busy doing and describing things and people. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's get down to reading Romans chapter 12, verses 9 to 19. Η αγάπη ανυπόκριτος, αποστηγούντες το πονηρόν, κολλόμενοι το αγαθό. Τη φιλαδελφία εις αλλήλους φιλόστοργοι, τη τιμή αλλήλους προηγούμενοι. Τη σπουδή μη οκνηρή, το πνεύματι ζέοντες, το Κυρίο δουλεύοντες. Τη ελπίδη χαίροντες, τη θλίψη υπομένοντες, τη προσευχή προσκατερούντες. Τες χρείες των Αγίων κοινωνούντες, την φιλοξενίαν διώκοντες. Ευλογείτε τους διώκοντας ημάς, ευλογείτε και μη καταράσθε. Χαίρειν μετά χαιρόντων και κλαίειν μετά κλαιόντων. Το αυτό εις αλλήλους φρονούντες, μη τα υψηλά φρονούντες, αλλά της ταπεινής συναπαγόμενοι. Μη γίνεσθε φρόνιμοι πάρε αυτής. Μηδενή κακόν αντικακού αποδιδόντες, προνοούμενοι καλά ενώπιον πάντων ανθρώπων. Ή δυνατόν το εξημών με τα πάντων ανθρώπων ειρηνεύοντες. Μη εαυτούς εκδικούντες αγαπητοί, αλλά δότε τόπον τη οργή, γέγραπτε γάρ εμεί εκδίκησης. Εγώ ανταποδώσω, λέγει Κύριος. Here you can see all the participles highlighted in yellow. The endings are undes, ondes, ondas, on, that is omega, ni, and omni and oumeni. These participles in this section of Romans are all in the plural. Here you can see an English translation of Romans 12, 9 to 19. It is the King James Version. 5 participles are shown: giving, serving, rejoicing, continuing, and distributing. Normally, the King James Version sticks very closely to the original Greek. In this instance, the number of participles in English does not reflect the number of participles in Greek. In comparison, the New International Version has 3 participles in these verses, and the English Standard Version has only 1 participle. Here you see a slightly edited version of Young's literal translation. All the Greek participles have been translated into English using English participles. Here they all are, highlighted in yellow. I'd like to draw your attention to verses 13 and 14, hospitality pursuing, and bless those persecuting you. The participles pursuing and persecuting are derived from one verb in Greek. It is diogo. So depending upon the context, it can have a positive meaning or a negative meaning. The verb can mean to pursue, to chase after. You could pursue and chase after something that is good. On the other hand, you can pursue someone so as to harm that person, that is, to persecute someone. There are 9 participles leading up to the participles derived from diogo, and 9 participles following it. So that's 18 participles plus the 2 derived from diogo, making 20 participles in this section. You can now see the participles represented in a chiastic structure. I'll go into more detail about what a chiasm or chiastic structure is in another video. Just to explain it briefly, it is a multi-layered sandwich. The center of our sandwich has 2 participles derived from the verb diogo. Diogondes and diogondas. Diogondes is nominative masculine plural, whereas diogondas is accusative masculine plural. Now we merge the Greek text with the English text, and we get a messy looking image. Let's clear that up. And we see the Greek participles with their English translation. And let's put them in a nice list. And in this list we see the Greek participles and the verbs from which they are derived. These are the lemmas of the verbs. That is the lexical form, the form in which you can look up the verb. Note that the participles ending in aome or ʻumeni are derived from verbs that are middle or passive.